Doctor at the hospital says somebody had to do this intentionally.
My baby arm was behind his back. They know something going on, and it's not right.
Somebody had to break the boy's arm.
I know I didn't do it. I didn't see my wife do anything.
You my brother. She nothing to me, but you still shouldn't have married her until you found out what happened to my baby.
You was the babysitter, Janika. I was there when you brought that baby back.
He came back home like that.
All that stuff she just said was a lie.
You was dirty, you was evil,
Whatever.
you was a devil.
Whatever.
You don't believe that the injury occurred while he was with you?
No. When she picked our baby up out that car seat, that baby screamed and cried.
She did something to my baby.
Janika, tell her what happened to her baby.
You might want to listen to this, okay? 3 months ago, Tara rushed her 2-month-old son to the hospital after she noticed that he was unable to move his arm. When she got to the hospital, the staff confirmed that his arm was broken. Tara believes her brother's wife, Janika, is to blame, and now her brother, Roderick, is caught in the crossfire of this accusation. Take a look.
My sister is accusing my wife of breaking her son's arm. And I know she didn't do it. Me and my wife were watching my nephew for a couple of days, and my sister said that she noticed something was wrong with the baby's arm, and I noticed that the baby arm was looking kind of abnormal. My sister decided to take the baby to the hospital. I was worried. I told her to let me know what's going on with the baby and everything. So my sister called me, and the doctor told her that the baby arm was broken. It wasn't an accidental thing. It was purposely done. My sister has had her 4 children taken away from her from this situation. My sister believed that because the baby was in our care, me and my wife knew something about it, or we were the ones that done it. I know I didn't do it. I know my wife didn't do it, and I questioned my kids and asked my son, did he hit the baby? And he said he picked the baby up because the baby was crying, and he dropped the baby. So hearing that was like devastating to me. We would never do anything like that to children. We have 2 kids of our own, and our kids have never been hurt or anything to that nature. We're a good couple. We go to church every Sunday. We're active in our kids' lives, and we babysitted plenty of kids before, and due to this situation happening, it put a big wall between my family and my wife and kids. I feel like I'm stuck in the middle. People are getting in my sister's ear telling her that my wife, Janika, is the one that hurt her baby, and I know she didn't do it.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Who, your brother?
Everything that they say. My baby came home in the car seat. He been at their house for about 3 days. Now you tell me during these 3 days, and then he come home, and I take him out the car seat. She called me and tell me she asked me where was I at, and I tell her I'm at home getting ready for work. She said, okay, I'm about to bring your baby home. No problem. She brings him home, and just like any other parent, you're going to want to grab your baby, give him a hug and whatever. He was 2 months at the time, so you know at that time you really want to just hold on to him. And I said, well, let me give my baby a hug before I go ahead and go to work. I took him out the car seat. He was crying. He had a cry to where I couldn't understand where was it coming from. And Janika said out her mouth, he have gas. And then she said, oh, I think he had constipation. Okay, no problem. So I lay him on my lap, never knowing I'm supporting his right arm. So I'm rubbing his stomach clockwise. He stopped crying and everything. So when I lift him up, he crying again. I look over, I said, Janika, what's wrong with my baby? She said, he don't want you. He don't like you. I looked and I said, this is my baby.
She said,
I carry this baby.
She said,
I carry this baby, and she told me.
Why did she say that?
I guess she was trying to be funny. I don't know. I have no idea.
But she meant it?
No, she didn't mean it. It's just that when I gave her back to him, when I gave him back to her, she held him and he stopped crying. She didn't hold him and rub his stomach. She just held him to a comfort to where he don't have to cry. But I'm still never knowing that my baby arm could be broken. I'm thinking it may do be gas or constipation. So I leave and I ask, can somebody hold him while I go ahead and get ready and go to work? She's the one who took my baby. I leave out the house and I get to work. I'm a full-time worker, so when I get there, they volunteer me if I wanted to leave and go home. I tell my staff workers what was going on. The baby got back home, and the babysitter said he had gas or he was constipated. So they allowed me to go ahead and leave and take care of the baby, too. And I go home, and I guess they wasn't expecting for me to come right back home. So when I get there, she's sitting in the car and, you know, kind of holding a little conversation, but she never went back in the house. They said when I left to go to work, she gave somebody else the baby and left. Like, you brought him home intentionally to blame somebody at my house because you knew I was leaving to go to work. So when I got home, and he was on the bed asleep when I got there, I went and picked him up, as I would always do. He cried again. Why does he keep crying? And my older cousin, Andreas, he told me, that's not a crying pain from constipation or gas. She said, that baby's in pain. That's a pain cry. So I'm like, maybe he have constipation, you know, colic. That can be it. She's like, no, Tiara, that baby is in pain. So when I go to change his diaper later on in the day, and I lay him down, my baby arm was behind his back. You tell me, how can a 2-month-old baby arm be behind his back? He can't get up and walk. He can't roll off the couch. And then I go to the hospital and they tell me that this did not happen from a child. This is forced from an adult. Like, how?
This had to be forcible.
Yes.
Right. That was intentional.
Yes. They tell me a child, they said, she mentioned, I had questioned her when I found out what happened. I asked her, did she drop him? Did she grab him the wrong way? She told me no, 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 no.
She had no idea.
She had no idea. I said, well, what about your kid? Did you let your son hold him? Did he do anything? She said no. And I said, well, what about your daughter? She told me no to every question because I'm trying to figure out what could have happened. She said no. So I ended up telling my mother what was said at the hospital. My mother questioned her hours later. She told my mother yes to every question. Like, how can you tell me no, but then tell my mother yes? Get your stories together. Get it together. Because now I'm in a situation to where I can't even be around my kids like I want to. I can't take my kids to school. I'm missing parenting time with my kids because of something.
They took your kids away.
They took my babies away from me. I have 3 other kids besides this one baby I'm worrying about.
And they took all of them. And you, here we are in a situation where you did the right thing. When you noticed there was something wrong with your child, you took him to the hospital.
Yes.
The doctor says, this looks like it was intentional. But they ended up taking away because they can't determine who did this.
Because I wasn't able to explain to them what happened to my baby, but how can I make up a lie if I don't know? I can't get the truth out of a lie.
Right, and you did the responsible thing.
Being the good guy, you the bad guy.
Until they find out, they have to protect all the kids.
Yes. You was dirty, you was evil,
Whatever.
you was a devil.
Whatever.
You was evil.
You're jealous.
The doctor at the hospital says somebody had to do this intentionally. You don't believe that the injury occurred while he was with you?
No.
Think you've seen it all on my show? You haven't seen anything until you've seen it in person.